everyone. Today I want to talk to you about saying the word no without guilt. My name is Lynn Schroeder, and I empower men and women to step outside of their comfort zone and begin living a life, having relationships, building a business like they could have never imagined. This word no, why is it the smallest word, the word that we probably learn to say first when we're 1 year old? Why is it that that is one of the hardest words to say? Yet the word yes comes out of our mouth pretty frequently. Let's you and I learn to say no guilt-free. Do you ever feel like you're a doormat? Do you feel like you are acquiescing all the time? You are a compliant person, that you have unhealthy boundaries. I get it. I was that way for years. And I'm a recovering yes person and a happy no person. So let's talk, especially this time of the year when we are so apt to say yes, when we should be saying no a little bit more. This really is the season, can be the season of yes. Hosting or being the room mom for the school parties, baking one more dozen of cookies for the cookie exchange, hosting the neighborhood party, agreeing to put up another tree added to the 4 that you already have up. This over committing, this idea of maybe having the perfect holiday, which is not reasonable, and doing things that don't fill us joy. You and I should practice the word no, should adopt the word no happily and without guilt. I've got 7 things that you and I can do. Now, I'm sure there's more, but I've come up with 7 ways to say no guilt-free. Now, these are in no particular order, but number 1 is to honestly be straightforward. Don't beat around the bush. Have respect for the person that's asking you by not being wishy-washy and dragging it out so that they have time to ask someone else or for a plan B. You can say things like, thank you, I am so honored, but I won't be able to help, or I won't be able to attend, or I won't be able to join you. Now, here's something to be cautious about. Don't say things like, I can't, this week I'm so busy, or this week, whatever, because that opens the door for someone to say, oh, it's okay, what does next week look like for you? So be straightforward and don't beat around the bush. Number 2, be honest. So easy to say, but hard to do, but be honest. You cannot go wrong by being honest. Here's what happens when we say little white lies or we embellish the truth. We end up feeling bad about it, right? We're like, oh, I'm not a liar, but I just lied. So be honest. You cannot go wrong with being honest. Number 3, do some counter offers. Suggest alternatives. Help a person out, the person asking you, help them out by giving them an alternative. And what will happen is they will recognize how generous that suggestion is. And you can always say, you know what, I can't help this year, but next year I would love to help. Why don't you ask so-and-so, or here's a suggestion. So offer a counter offer. People respect that and they appreciate that. Number 4, try the empathy approach. This comes from a very pure heart, but you give them a compliment for what they're doing right now. You can say, Mary, you always do such a great job with this party. Or, Mary, I have watched you in the past and I so admire what you've done. Give them a compliment about what they're doing. Make them feel good, but say no. Say no. Say no. Number 5, use the relational approach. And this is something that sounds like this. if I helped you or if I attended blank, then I would be doing a disservice to my family, my husband, my children, whatever, but put your know that you come first and you would be just doing a disservice to them. So use the relational approach with your no. Tell them, if I say yes to this, then I am saying no to this, and honor those relationships. Number 6, stick to your guns. And this is what I mean by that, because sometimes when we don't stick to our guns, our no becomes a maybe. It just morphs into this maybe. So if we are very straightforward and our no stays no, in fact, we kind of do the broken record approach. Nope, I can't do that. Nope, I can't help out this year. No, I can't attend that. If you do the broken record approach, your no does not morph into, well, let me think about it. And then that becomes a maybe, and then that becomes a yes. So stick to your guns. Last one. And this one, if you were going to arrange these, maybe this becomes number 1. Because if you've watched any of my videos in the past, you know that I embrace this mindfulness of what is going on, not skating through life and just letting it happen, but being mindful. What is going on around me? Why am I acting like this? Or what's happening? So maybe this is number 1. And here's what it is. Dissect why you have a hard time saying no. Were you labeled a helper growing up? Are you worried about judgment? Or are you worried about losing friends? Are you addicted to approval? Do you not understand your value? Do others' opinions matter so much that they define you? Let me tell you that it's okay to put in fact, it's more than okay to put yourself first. Your personal boundaries are sacred, and you need to hold them in high esteem because you are worthy of putting yourself first. Now, I don't mean not taking care of your family and things like that. Please hear me out, but you have got to have personal values, personal boundaries, because here's what happens. If you feed into everybody else, who's feeding into you? If you're watering everybody else's plant, who's watering you? So hold your no with sacredness. So dissect, why is it that you have a hard time saying no? And do you believe that you are valuable enough to say no? So in summary, saying no allows you to say yes to what's important to you. And it allows you to be a better person, because when you do say yes, you're going to say it with a genuine heart, and you're going to say it without resentment. So listen, I hope you got some value out of this. It's especially important during the holidays. If you don't want to start wigging out from overcommitment or just over whatever, learn to say no. If you got some value out of this, please hit the share button or tag somebody. And if you want to, I would so appreciate it if you'd head over to my YouTube channel, where I've got dozens and dozens of free content videos that I'd love for you to take a look at. So thank you so much for watching this, and you have a wonderful afternoon.